KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here to meet your urgent and emergent medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them, whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury. San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com.
"11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, August 24th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Micklin, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air, of course, in San Juan County, 103.3 FM over the air now in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere from our website at ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching our visual radio program, streaming live to the KSJE YouTube channel and Facebook page. We're glad that you are with us this morning. Coming up today, it is the first day of the fall semester here at San Juan College, so as has been tradition, we're going to be talking with San Juan College President, Dr. Toni Pendergrass. She is standing by in the studio. We'll be talking a little bit about San Juan College, the start of this semester, and much, much more coming up in the next few moments. So stay tuned for that, everyone, here on KSJE. Then next hour, of course, it is our local information program about the coronavirus, COVID-19. Megan Cullup will be joining me here in Studio A as my co-host, and we'll be speaking live this morning with Jeff Bourgeois, the President and CEO of San Juan Regional Medical Center. We'll get a live update on conditions at the hospital. We'll also be talking with Dr. Ava Boswell. She is with San Juan Health Partners Behavioral Health. She's going to be talking with us about mental health, of course, so very, very important during these days, and we'll be getting some great advice from her coming up on the program. Of course, you can watch us live this morning on YouTube or Facebook, or listen to us on the radio. We have a partner radio station. It'll be aired at noon today on KNMI Radio 88.9, and here on KSJE, you can hear it at 5:06 p.m. this afternoon, 90.9 FM, 103.3, and of course online at KSJE.com. On the radio side of things at 9 a.m., it's our classical music program, Roving with the Arts, and Mick Hess is playing some great music for us. It is Hindemith's Symphonic Metamorphosis. That's coming up this morning on the radio at 9 on KSJE. And of course, don't forget, you can also connect with us on Twitter and Instagram, in addition to Facebook and YouTube. And let's check out our weather forecast. For today, mostly sunny skies this morning, some increasing clouds in the afternoon, maybe a very scattered shower or thunderstorm in the forecast. Today's high 96 in Farmington and 66 overnight. Same story for the rest of the week. Some chance for scattered showers with thunderstorms and highs in the low 90s and overnight lows in the mid 60s. And we can give you a live look from a few moments ago here at the campus of San Juan College as things get started. A little hazy skies again because of that smoke from some surrounding wildfires, but cars are coming onto campus a little bit because things are a bit different for the fall semester this year, and that's why my guest is here in the studio to talk with me about that. Dr. Toni Pendergrass is here. Dr. Pendergrass, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for coming in, and this is kind of a strange start to the semester. We were talking before we came on the air.
Definitely, it certainly is.
But things continue. I mean, again, the college is open, and classes are going to be happening on this first day like they've been happening for the past 50-plus years.
Absolutely.
And so what are you seeing from the numbers that are coming in, enrollments and classes and things like that? You've extended a little bit of some time for folks to sign up for classes this year?
Yes, we're giving them a little bit more time to enroll this year. And right now, enrollment is tracking with our student credit hours about 11-12% down.
And that is, I guess, to be understandable, right, with what's going on, and compared to other colleges around the country, we are not as bad as some and doing okay.
Yes, absolutely. I serve on the American Association of Community Colleges board, and out of the 32 institutions represented on the board, there were only 2 that were actually having enrollment increases this fall. Most of the decreases ranged anywhere from 9 to 25%. And here in our state, that's definitely the same story. We meet with independent community colleges weekly, and they are also having enrollment declines.
And so here at the college, the decision was made to have most classes online for the fall semester, like is happening elsewhere. But there are some classes that are meeting face-to-face if they're not able to do what they need to do online.
Yes, absolutely. We actually have 4 modalities. So remote, as you mentioned, then we have live online, so they still show up for class at specified times just on the computer. And then we have hybrids where they maybe show up one day in class, the other day online. This is very typical in a lot of our laboratory classes. And then we have face-to-face with strict social distancing practices in place in our School of Energy, School of Trades and Technology, and our School of Health Sciences.
Got it. And of course, those procedures have been put into place here at San Juan College. I know folks are required to check in at some health screening stations throughout the campus when they arrive, and get checked and temperature taken and all those things every day when they arrive.
Yes, at all the entrances.
Right. Very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about the message that you had at Convocation. It was another virtual convocation, like most things are this year, for the faculty and staff last week, kind of looking forward and how things are going, and a time to kind of celebrate some of the successes here at the college.
Yes, it was a great session last Tuesday.
Right. And so I want to share a little bit of some of your presentation, of course, the mission and the vision of the college. And in these days, we're seeing, I think, a lot of students maybe we're planning to go to a 4-year institution, maybe changing their plans and coming to San Juan College, even online, to knock out a few of their prerequisite classes.
Yes, definitely.
It seems like a great idea to do that, to be able to knock those out.
Yes,
And take them
especially if they're in a remote environment. They might as well just stay home and take care of those classes.
Right. And our strategic directions here at the college, again, these are some of the things that drive a lot of the decisions that are being made, correct?
Yes, we have 4 strategic directions that were established by the board. The first is to create an agile and responsive business model to help more students get in, through, and out of college. The second is to really expound upon our national signature programs that we have at the college to bring in economic development dollars to our region. The third strategic direction has to do with our School of Energy and taking it internationally. And then the last strategic direction is to really grow and expand our health science offerings.
And so even though with this pandemic and all the other changes that are being made about COVID-19, these strategic directions have not changed at all, have they?
No, and they're just as pertinent as they ever were before.
Right, right. My guest this morning, Dr. Toni Pendergrass, is here. It is the first day of the fall semester here at San Juan College, and we're talking about some of the messages that she gave to the faculty and staff at the convocation held last week here at the college. And so some of the accomplishments that I wanted to point out that you did too on your convocation presentation?
Yes, absolutely. So related to our first strategic direction, we're thrilled with the work that has occurred the last few years by our faculty and staff to really develop more agreements with our partner universities, and we're thrilled that we were able to sign a dual admission agreement and a reverse transfer agreement with New Mexico State University. So students can be dual enrolled in both San Juan College and New Mexico State. They receive IDs in both, and they have advisors at both, that way to ensure they have a seamless transition and guaranteed acceptance into New Mexico State. And I know that the faculty and staff are working on several other agreements that I assume will be finalized this fall.
Great. And it sounds like for some of those students we just spoke about, the ones that maybe were going to a 4-year school like New Mexico State, but coming here to take a few of their classes, this ensures that those credits will transfer and that they're taking what they need to take in order to just move right on into their 4-year degree program.
Yes.
Very good. And that's important, and that's along with some of the other agreements that are already here at San Juan College, right? We have agreements with other 4-year institutions too.
Yes, we signed an agreement last year with Fort Lewis College, And if you're an honors student, then you transfer and you pay in-state tuition and get a $1,000 scholarship. So that's about $16,000, $17,000 in savings.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
No kidding. Very true. And so then let's move on to strategic direction number 2 and talk a little bit about some of these new things that are happening.
Yes. Regarding national signature programs, we had a professor in English that also has her MBA, and she recommended that we start a digital marketing program, and this is fully online. And this is more important than ever during this COVID-19 pandemic, because businesses need to be appropriately marketing their businesses on their web pages and through social media. So we're thrilled to have this new online marketing degree. The second item was brought to us by Brian Seavey, who is a professor in our drafting program in Geographic Information Systems, and he started what we call a small unmanned aerial systems or drone degree. And this is a certificate and a degree, and we know that this is also very timely. Amazon and others in the nation are starting to deliver through the use of drones.
Right.
And we know that in New Mexico, we're number 2 for unmanned airspace behind Ohio. So we think it's a really strategic opportunity.
Interesting. And I know of a lot of other industries that are using drones to maybe survey their maybe well sites or things like that in the energy industry or even other
in
things too.
agriculture,
Yeah.
almost any industry, they use drones. I think even the train in Durango uses a drone as well, looking for fires.
Right. So a lot of potential career growth, I think, in this area.
Yes, or inspecting bridges or
Right.
all sorts of opportunities. Real estate.
Right. True. They all have them now. That's very true.
Right.
Very good. And strategic direction number 3, talking a little bit about our internationally accessible energy resources.
Yes, so the School of Energy, under the direction of Dean Alicia Corbell, has done a great job developing training agreements with our partners. We have a 2-year training agreement with Dugan Productions, and then we also signed another agreement with the Public Service Company of New Mexico. And we are thrilled about the MOU that was signed with the City of Farmington, the Farmington Utility, and Enchant Energy regarding carbon sequestration out at the power plant. So we will be able to provide training both for carbon sequestration jobs and the constructions, operations, and maintenance of the plant. So we're really excited about that because it'll be the largest in the world.
Right. And, of course, this is what the City of Farmington has been proposing with Enchant to continue operations at the San Juan Generating Station once P&M pulls out of that station, that
Yes,
power
that's
plant.
correct, Scott.
And so the college would be then providing workers for some of these jobs that will be created out there.
Yes, we will be the trainer of choice.
Right. And so that is exciting news. And, of course, a lot of other things, too. And you talk about Dugan Productions, and so that they are a well-known local energy provider in the area. And so we know that our energy industry is facing some challenges, but there are still jobs in the energy industry, and that's what this is about.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, last fall, if you're joining us online, we had Chevron, Occidental, Freeport McMoran, Cimarex, Phillips 66, AECOM, USA Compression, and Twin Stars. We had a different employer every Friday during the fall semester interviewing our students. So they are still hiring.
Very good. And you mentioned the Dean of the School of Energy, Alicia Corbell, and of course she was just named the permanent Dean of the School of Energy. So
yes,
congratulations to her.
Yes.
So she was interim and now she has the job full time.
Right, correct.
Which is very good, very exciting. Strategic direction number 4, the health science programs. And of course that's been another big partnership with local industry and local healthcare providers, and San Juan College providing staffing for the healthcare industry.
Yes, we're really fortunate that we have such great partners such as San Juan Regional Medical Center. But they've really worked on our return on investment metrics in the school under the leadership of Sherry Paxson, the dean. And, that's pretty unique because they're such high-cost programs, but they've really worked to increase their return on investment metric. and I'm proud of them for doing that. We also had 2 very successful accreditation visits for both nursing and physical therapy assistant this past year, and they were we received good reviews for those. So for physical therapy assistant, they have a 100% pass rate on all their licensure exams each and every year. So we're pleased with the work that they do in our School of Health Sciences. We've also worked closely in our the nursing faculty with our human anatomy professors, and they've really worked to do a lot of hands-on work to improve the test scores and the lab scores of our students in that program, so we can have, you know, more students eligible to apply for those nursing slots that we have.
Right. And I know a lot of students that go into that area. Again, great career opportunities. It's a growing industry, I think, because I'm not getting any younger, so I know I'm going to need health care down the road. But I think a lot of students are able to come to San Juan College and get into this program. It's a lot of work, but I know it's also very rewarding work once they graduate and have these certificates and degrees to get into the field.
Definitely.
So very, very good. Well, let's move along and talk about some of the other things, again, with the other accomplishments, including, of course, got lots of kudos for San Juan College High School. It had its first graduation earlier this year, the Griffins.
Yes, it is a wonderful partnership with all of our school districts in the county. So Aztec, Bloomfield, Central Consolidated, and Farmington Municipal Schools. And they had their first graduating class, as you mentioned. And you know, I just could not be more proud of what the principal, Don Lorette, and his team have done the past 4 years. So we just had, I think it was 85% of them 75 or 85% graduated with their associate's degree and high school diploma simultaneously, and the remainder are finishing up this summer. We're again the #1 high school in the state among public and private institutions, and the students are selected by lottery. You just have to live in the county to be part of it. And they've just done such a great job. Most of our 50% of the students are going to New Mexico universities that graduated, so I think that's awesome. And many of them had, you know, the presidential scholarships at our partner universities, the Hadley Scholarship at New Mexico State. And one of the parents recently told me that his son transferred in more credits than they've ever had for an early college graduate, and he transferred in 78 credit hours to New Mexico State University, which is just phenomenal.
Right. And again, you mentioned some of the other kudos that the school has gotten around the state, because the test scores, I mean, these kids they're smart, and they're proving it on these scores, and that's why the school ranks so well compared to even other schools in other parts of the state.
Yes. Yeah, we're just thrilled with it. One of the students from Newcomb had a West Point nomination.
Terrific.
So that's wonderful.
Congratulations. And again, that is continuing, and it continues to grow with bringing in students from the school districts by the lottery, like you mentioned.
Yes.
Very, very good. The 30th Street Education Center, of course, which was opened during the year, and that has been another partnership with Farmington Schools.
Yes, it's been a good partnership. So San Juan College occupies the 2nd and 3rd floors of the building, and Farmington Municipal Schools occupies the 1st and 4th floor. And it's been great. Our adult basic education program is there. Our Workforce Development Center is there, and our CLC for all of our encore programming, our kids college, marketing, institutional research. We have our boardroom there. So we definitely filled the building, and we're also leasing. We finished a lease on October 1st with Workforce Solutions, so they're a great partner of the college as well.
Very good. And of course, that building was I don't want to say a steal, but I think you got a pretty good deal on that building with the school district and the college.
Yes, it was definitely a great investment.
Right. And some other things on this page that we're talking about, and I want to get into managing through the pandemic, which again is another thing that all schools have been dealing with, and all institutions. And of course, you've got San Juan College, and we have thousands of students that are coming to San Juan College or would like to come to San Juan College, hundreds of employees, and how you deal with that during a pandemic is something that I know you and your team have been working on, of how to do the things safely.
Yes, throughout the entire college, all of our employees have worked hard throughout this pandemic.
Right.
And so some of the things that we've done, the most important theme, I think, is to let people know that we care, our students know that we care, and then our community know that we're here to help in any way possible. And I know many of our community partners have certainly stepped up to help everyone throughout this entire pandemic. So some of the things we've done at the college is we've had 15 all-college Zoom updates since March 13th. So these were done weekly, and they've moved to more of a bi-weekly, but we update all employees on what's happening at the local, state, and national level and how we're responding to it here at San Juan College. So we worked with the city and the county and the United Way to develop a Want to Help line. So we redeployed 4 people here at the college to pair people that want to volunteer and help with those local nonprofits that have needs. So that's been a good partnership with everyone involved. We also, I think you were part of also the public service announcements that were done. We worked with the city and the county and others to do PSAs about the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's right, reminding folks to stay home and to social distance and all those different reminders that we needed at the early part of this, you bet.
And when there were national shortages of PPE and other equipment, we worked with the hospital and the county to deliver, hospital beds, gurneys, IV pumps, pallets of toilet paper, just whatever was needed. We tried to help our community partners as well. There was also a shortage of face shields, and so I was actually contacted on Facebook, and an article was shared with me about a couple in New Jersey who'd started printing them in their basement. And I actually emailed them and got the plans and contacted John Byram and his son Logan Byram, who worked with John Mestis. And they worked in our makerspace with the partnership of PESCO and ImageNet and the local library, but all together we were able to print out on 3D printers 750 full face shields and 150 ventilator hose adapters to help our partners here in the community at Pinion Family Practice, at San Juan Regional Medical Center. We contacted Northern Navajo Medical Center.
Right.
And so we were kind of able to fill a gap until they could, obtain these pieces of equipment on the national markets.
Right. I was just going to say this was kind of early on as things were, and there were a lot of shortages of some of this equipment, and so
Yes.
the college was able to actually manufacture it, actually create it in this makerspace with help from these other entities. I think we did an interview with you and the others about this very thing. It was fascinating.
Yes, and Cody Waldrop as well. I accidentally left him off, but he's the owner of ABC Canvas.
Right.
And he had a lot of the materials that were needed to put these together.
Right. So again, I think it's wonderful. And then the other thing I want to mention too, of course, is the college's Small Business Development Center. And we've talked to Carmen Martinez numerous times on KSJE about some of the loan programs available for local businesses and some of the ways that she and her team have been able to help community members too during all this.
Yes, definitely. So I probably don't have the latest figures, but I know that they've saved at least 757 jobs locally, and they've helped the different small businesses access 9.6 million. So that's the economic impact of that. So we're thrilled with the work that they're doing as well.
Very good. Some of the other things that the college I know has done, and we've talked about them here on KSJE, this donation drive for the Navajo Nation, gathering up non-perishable foods and also PPE and other items like that then went out and got delivered across the reservation in those early days too.
Yes, one of our faculty members, Danielle Sullivan, suggested that we do a donation drive, and she had 35 volunteers that helped her, and they delivered 35 pallets of food and supplies to the distribution center in Window Rock. And our CDL program, Michael Wilson, helped deliver that.
It's great to have
Danielle.
trucks at your disposal, and you can just take them out to where they need to go. It's wonderful.
Yes, and it's a great experience for our students as well.
Very, very true. The other issue, too, that I want to talk about, of course, with everything moving online, the college has been able to offer laptops and hotspots to students maybe that don't have access to internet or Wi-Fi at their homes, and also set up Wi-Fi hotspots here on campus in the parking lots to be able to offer students a place to come safely and log in and get assignments and submit assignments and things like that.
Yes, Edward Desplas, our Executive Vice President, and Roy Lytle, our Chief Information Officer, and their team have just done a wonderful job at, trying to, it was difficult to obtain the computers and the Wi-Fi hotspots during this time. They were almost like toilet paper, but
In demand, high demand, that's right.
yes, and we were able to disperse them to students through a drive-through line with our Student Achievement Center.
Very good. And some of the other things on this graphic as we kind of wrap up on this page, some donations to a food pantry that helps students here on campus, which is another great thing that the college provides, and to maybe students who have children. That's
Yes.
an important thing.
We were able to help a total of 69 children and 95 families on a consistent basis throughout the spring semester. And I'd like to thank Gail Dean. I know that she received several donations from Dugan Production and others to help with our food pantry. We also received other donations to help with our technology from foundations and individual donors as well.
Very good. And of course, as this all started happening pretty much after spring break in the spring semester, everything went from in-person to online, and a lot of teachers and students had to change their learning styles and things along that. So the college made some changes too about dropping classes and grading and some of those changes too.
Yes, our faculty and staff did a wonderful job converting to this new environment overnight. It was basically, we had the weekend, and they just did a splendid job. Other things that we did is we didn't allow students to drop until they visited with someone in advising or from the Student Achievement Center, and we were able to help 100 students who were planning to drop solve their concerns. And we also changed the grading system where they would be awarded the typical letter grade, but if they wanted to have an S or a U, because they didn't sign up for being online.
Right.
And if they had difficulties, we allowed them that opportunity to change their grade if they wanted, so that it would not affect their GPA or penalize them in any way. So
Right.
that's one thing we did. We really told everyone that we wanted to check on every student with every means of communication as possible. There were 3 students we could not get a hold of, but we worked with our local authorities, the police, who actually went to those students' homes and made sure they were okay mentally, physically, had food in their refrigerator, and I'm just really pleased with the extent and the partnerships we have in this community to make sure that everyone was okay.
Right. I don't know of a lot of colleges that do that, but we do. So
We did.
And this 3,400 eye care notices, again, and these wellness checks are similar to what you're referring to, correct? Are these
Yes.
things that faculty or teacher might have said, I haven't heard from the student, or they're late on a few assignments. Let's reach out to them and see what's going on. Maybe it's just more than just missing class.
Right. So our faculty and staff that are face-to-face with the students on a daily basis or see them in classes, if they have concerns and they cannot reach them, then they let the Student Achievement Center know, and we have several employees that reach out, and we work closely with our nonprofits in the area to provide those wraparound supports that they may need if they're having difficulties. If they're academic, we work with our tutoring center when we have embedded online tutors, but if it's non-academic, we try and help them reserve their concerns as well.
Right. Very good. My guest this morning, Dr. Toni Pendergrass, is here. We are talking about some of the major changes that have been happening here at San Juan College in response to COVID-19 and to allow students to continue to take classes safely and even remotely in some cases. And we've been talking about some of the things that the college has been doing since March, pretty much, since all this has begun happening. Today is the first day of the fall semester, and so things are ramping back up. A lot of classes are online, a lot of classes are remote, but there are some opportunities for face-to-face learning as well, doing it safely here at San Juan College. And Dr. Pendergrass, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this graph that we are showing, and this is something I know that you show with pride about how the college has done with a challenge from the president, from Mr. Obama, right? President Obama.
Yes, this is actually my favorite slide. So in 2010, President Obama challenged all colleges and universities to increase their number of graduates by 50% by 2020. So over 10 years, that's a 5% increase per year. And we actually increased our number of graduates by 8% per year, which is an 80% increase.
Wow.
And there's a report that will be coming out in the near future to our state legislators, and out of all the colleges and universities in New Mexico, we have had the largest increase in our number of graduates.
And for folks who are watching us this morning, again, the yellow bar is the target each year, going up by 5%. The purple line is the actual numbers of increasing graduation rates that San Juan College achieved.
Yes, and we take it very seriously that we want to help students cross the finish line, whatever that takes.
That's true. Very true. And Dr. Pendergrass, we just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning, and so I know the theme of convocation this year was sunflowers, and you made some comparisons from sunflowers to what we're all dealing with, and I thought that was kind of interesting, and I would hope that you would share that with us this morning, if you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to share it, Scott. So sunflowers, and hence their name, they usually chase the sun. But have you ever wondered what they do on cloudy or rainy days? One might think that they may, face the ground or wither towards the ground, but that's not actually what happens. On cloudy or rainy days, sunflowers face each other and share their energy. So I just wanted, what I shared with convocation as what we're doing at the college and what we have done throughout the pandemic is during this cloudy time, we have faced each other and shared our energy so that we could build our students up and help our community. And we're going to continue to do that and until we can chase the sun when we have brighter days ahead of us.
Very good. Well, Dr. Pendergrass, it's always a pleasure to have you here and talk about your vision and the work that you and your team does here at San Juan College for our community and for our students and for higher education. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you. I'm just so blessed to work at San Juan College with all the extraordinary employees we have here.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for being here, and have a great semester.
You too. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Dr. Toni Pendergrass, my guest here at KSJE. And of course, I'll be back with more in just a moment. The time right now is 8:43.
Moving conferences online has been tricky, but this year's political conventions could be a model. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech.